everyone, it's Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. If you hear that noise in the background, that's Claire. She got a birthday card. Today I'm going to be talking about the October reading wrap-up, and I read more than probably I normally do in a month. I am almost done with my current read, but I don't think I'll include it in this October wrap-up because what's today, the 30th? I'm not going to finish this by tomorrow, so I'll probably finish it in November. So yeah, October wrap-up. The first book that I read and finished was Ruth Wares, The Turn of the Key. And I was like kind of having high expectations because some of the booktubers that I watch, they like gave 5 stars to it, and it's just, so I guess I came in, if I didn't have the high expectations, I might have been like this better. I gave it a 4 out of 5 because it was very enjoyable. And then the end was good. It wasn't what the end, I did think about something similar to what it was. I was like, no, that can't be. So I didn't really like expect it, I guess, going in. I mean, I didn't know for sure what the ending was going to be, you know? But the way it all ties together, it actually is like really cool. The ending was kind of like, what? It wasn't like a shock, but it was kind of like a, yes, that's you. Yeah. It wasn't like a huge shock. Mama's book for her. Yeah. And so the ending was like not what I expected. And then I was kind of like in a way disappointed, but then also kind of like it made me think about it. And you know, I gave it a 4 out of 5. But this book actually made me think about it for a few days afterwards because I'm like, that's messed up. You know, it's kind of like one of those thoughts where you're just like, man, there's multiple different things in there that go on like super twist, but in a way, I don't know how to explain it, but I mean, it was enjoyable. There was certain annoying parts to me about it. I mean, overly enjoyable. I would say still read it. I mean, don't go based off of everything I say. I mean, there were a lot of people who gave this 5 stars. I just gave it a 4 just because of how it made me feel kind of, but it did make me think about it. And if a book sticks with you where it makes you think about it the next few days, I mean, that's a good sign. It made me think about it. So that's what I enjoyed about it. I should explain what this is about, huh? This is about this woman was she early 20s? I can't remember how old she was. She works at a daycare and she ends up finding a nannying job at this house. You know, long story, I mean, I don't want to go get all into it, but they warned her that there was hauntings and that there was a lot of previous nannies who left sooner than they thought, so they think that the house was haunted or something was going on, but they wanted her to be okay with it, and hopefully she would last long. And you know, they interviewed her and liked her, and so she ends up nannying there, and there's weird stuff going on. Like the parents leave her for the first weekend that she's there because they have stuff to do, and like didn't even let her get into the groove of nannying, so she has to figure out all this stuff. The house is like a smart house where it's just controlled by everything that's smart, like technology wise, and there's some creepy stuff going on, especially with kids. The oldest kid, there's 2 daughters, and then a really little baby, and so she mostly takes care of the baby if like the girls are at school or something. But yeah, and there's other characters that come in, and it's just like you don't know what's going on, if it's haunted, if somebody's doing this to her because it's a smart house and all this stuff. So that's all I'm gonna go into because it gets into some crazy stuff. But yeah, still suggest to read it if you're looking for like a thriller type. Yeah, look at that shine. You want it? The next read was a YA thriller called I Killed Zoe Spanos, and it actually surprised me a little bit. Not necessarily like the ending. I mean, it actually surprised me to my liking because I haven't really read too many like YA books in a while. I mean, some books are called YA, and you read them and you're like, I feel like that was more an adult type book, like a mixture. But adults could still read YA because there's a lot of adult elements in there, or it reminds you of when you were younger, or I can't believe this kid went through these issues or something. But it's a YA thriller. This girl's about to go to start college, but she leaves to go to a different town and starts nannying at this house for this girl. She's like 9 or something, so she watches her, and it's easy. Watches just one little girl, and she stays in the guest house during the summer. It's just watching during the summer, and she learns about this girl who was missing called Zoe Spanos, and everyone says she looks like her. It looks very similar to her and stuff, so it kind of brings back these memories. She's been missing. I guess she's been missing. She's not killed. But all these like weird memories and visions are coming like in her dreams. I don't know, she's having deja vus. And so she thinks she killed her, and you don't know if it's true or not. But there's these weird things going on in the town, different characters. You don't know if maybe they were involved. So it's just a really interesting story because you get to know more of these characters, I feel like I'm so bad at explaining sometimes because I don't want to ruin anything. Like right now I'm doing a reading vlog for my current read, and comparing it to a movie. Here, I'll just talk about what my current read is. It's Jurassic Park. But, with my current read, I'm doing a reading vlog and I'm spoiling the book because I'm comparing it to the movie, and so it's like easy to talk about, I feel like. But with talking about books when you're wrapping up, I feel like it's so hard to explain without ruining things. But yeah, it's like where she's nannying is like in the Hamptons, so like rich area and stuff, and then she finds kids around her age, and she used to be a huge partier and she wanted to get out of that. That's why she left during the summer to get away from her friends before she started college, just to start fresh. She doesn't want to be like an addict and an alcoholic and everything, so, and to make some money and everything. So yeah, I gave this a 4 out of 5. It was 4 out of 5 because it was really enjoyable, and you didn't know exactly what was going on. You suspect certain characters in I don't know. It's just it was a really entertaining book, and if you want to read it, go ahead. And then it's beautiful right here, and it was I think it was a quick read too. I think I finished this pretty well because there's some like because there's a podcast in there, some like interview format type thing. So I feel like that made it a faster read. And then the last one I read was Mexican Gothic, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 as well. It started out really great. I've heard from other YouTubers where they said it started out slow, but I actually really liked how it was starting up, and it builds up. And so the first like half, I was just really into talking to Matt about it, like what the hell's going on. It was so weird, and she's playing with the dog leash. It was just so strange, and then when things start unraveling, it's actually really, really crazy and entertaining. And then how it ends here, I feel like I wanted more, or it leaves it off at a certain thing, and I feel like I wanted some more. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 as well, just because the build up was so good in the story. I was really into, and then the ending was kind of like, duh, I wish that it explained a little bit more, but enjoyable. If you want to read this, go ahead. Out of those 3, one I was most excited to read was Ruth Wares' Turn of the Key, and I still think about it here and there, and it's between that and Mexican Gothic because they were both so interesting. The weirdest one was definitely Mexican Gothic, but like the more thriller-like is The Turn of the Key, and the end was just like, what? Like I put on my Instagram, the end of this was like, what? That's how I like thought about it. But I would say those two. I Killed Zoe Spanos was really good as well. It's just, I don't know, these two stuck out more. And I don't remember if I've explained this. It's about this girl who her dad gets this note. It takes place in 1950s Mexico. Gets this letter from her cousin, and it sounds so strange, not like her. And he's just like, can you go visit her and her new husband in this house to go see if she's okay, if she's like sick or what's going on down there? And she's like, why are you sending me? And he's just like, because you're available, you trust her, you love her, you guys have a certain bond, and you like, she's very like, how should I say this? She's very like stern, says what she means. She's gonna stay till the end, no matter what struggles there are. She's very like hard-headed, I want to say. So if anybody can like get through to anybody, it would be her. So they wanted to send her. So she goes to this like small town in Mexico, and this house is already so weird when she goes in there. And they say that her cousin has they say that she has tuberculosis or something like that. And her cousin's just so weird. Like there'll be parts where her cousin seems fine, like nothing's wrong, and then all of a sudden she'll say and do these weird things, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And they only let her see, there's just weird things going on in the house. Like the staff can't talk. They don't allow anybody to talk at dinner time. Has to be silent. The smell of the house, there's a bunch of mold. It's just like very strange. And then she starts having these like weird dreams at night. It's just like, it goes on from there. I wouldn't want to ruin any more than that. It's just, there's a lot of things going on with that house, the people in the house. You find out this character is cool because, you know, she's not going to let up. They keep trying to tell her to leave the house and leave them alone type thing. And she's like, no, I'm not leaving my cousin here unless I know she's safe. And that's exactly why her dad sent her. So, yes. And then, right now I am out of 466 pages, I think there are. I'm on like 302 of Jurassic Park. So I'm not going to finish this, I don't think, by the end of the month. Probably not, because I'm not going to be able to read tomorrow, I don't think, because it's Halloween. So, yeah, Jurassic Park, I'm doing a reading vlog on. I don't know, whenever I finish this, I'll finish that vlog and post it. But I love doing reading vlogs like that. It's just fun to talk about. This one is a spoiler, which is fine if you're not going to want to read Jurassic Park. I mean, there's the movie, but this is completely different. So I'm excited to, not completely, but a lot different. I'm excited for that to go up. But anyways, I don't do TBRs every month. Plus, I'm like more of a spur of the moment. Like if I do a TBR, like, oh, these are the books that I want to read next month. They might change. Say I get a new book, or I'm like, I really want to read that. I'm anticipated that. Like I've been wanting to read Psych for the longest time. But then I got this book. This is my next read after Jurassic Park because I've been thinking about this book for months. And ever since it's been like announced, and I never read this author before, and I've heard I want to read her Vicious ones. It's B. Schwab. I want to read her Vicious duology. I think it's going to be a trilogy though. I've heard those are amazing things, and I've heard she's an amazing author. But ever since this was announced and I heard what it's about, I've been like anticipating it, and I was thinking like I'm just gonna wait for Christmas. But then at Barnes & Noble it ends up being a signed copy, and I couldn't turn it down because the price was basically the same as if it was a normal book, and there's signatures. So keeping this, but it's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and it starts off in France in 1714. But I don't know if it goes into like contemporary times now, because she supposedly lives, makes a deal or something with, I don't know if it's the devil or with something, and wants to live forever, but she lives forever, but nobody remembers her, and that's why it's called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, because she's basically invisible. Like she can make all these relationships with these people in one day, and then the next day they'd forget about her, and that's kind of a sad life. So, but I'm really interested. It's like a historical fiction fantasy type thing, but I think it goes like into the years. I don't know. I haven't really read the description too much because I kind of want to go in this blindly, and I've heard other people read it saying it's like an amazing book, but I'm trying not to get too like, I don't want my hopes up, but I've been going into it very blindly, only knowing that specific like information. So I'm really stoked to read this for my next read. It'll also probably hopefully be a really good one. Yes, read that. And I really want to read Scythe, but if I'm reading that one and it's more of fantasy, then I might read something else. It just depends on how I feel, and that's exactly why I don't do TBRs unless I do. It's more of a book haul that I do, I think, than a TBR, but I call them TBRs because they're eventually going to be read. Eventually. So, thank you for watching this. Claire, want to say bye and thank you for watching? She's come over here and say bye. Thank you for watching our channel. Yeah, I need to call my grandma and say thank you. Thank you for watching the channel. Sorry if this was kind of like all over the place. I am still new to it. And plus, I feel like it's been so long since I've read these, even though it's only been this month. And I feel like, because I'm reading all these books, that all this information gets like clogged in there. But when you start talking about them, I feel like you remember. And then I just don't want to ruin stories. So thank you for watching. Bye.